Hey Facebook friends, it is 7:38 on Wednesday the 9th of July. Made it back from the zoo after feeding the hippos, and I'm here in the Weather Center monitoring the radar. Adam is here, Paul, our weather producer, is here as well, because we've got some pretty feisty storms out there, and it's kind of a twofold threat. We've got the threat of flooding, and we've got the threat of damaging winds. So the warnings are coming kind of fast and furious right now. Let me load this up. And if anybody has any questions, let me know you're here and I can talk to you. So let me talk about the severe thunderstorm warnings first. Hey, Aaron from Kentucky. How's the weather there? Probably not quite as stormy as here. I'm spending more time with my colleagues at work than my family at home. So these are the current warnings. Actually, one is updating in South Jersey. When you see it flashing like that, it's updating. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Newcastle County, Chester County, Western Delco until 8:15 for the potential for wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. And we have had a report of, let me check where this is, in Queen Anne's County, Maryland, that a personal weather station trained spotter did report a wind gust of 59 miles an hour. So that's severe criteria. So that's in effect until 8:15. And then we've got this one in South Jersey. So parts of Cumberland, Salem, Gloucester County, a small section of Atlantic County until 8 o'clock. For 60 mile an hour winds and inch in diameter hail, pretty large hail. And then I'm watching this. So this is out of our viewing area, but it's just west. So for the eastern shore of Maryland, including Chestertown, Kent County, this is coming with a tornado possible tag. And we've seen some more of those. Lancaster County was under severe thunderstorm warning. That has now expired, but we did have a short-lived tornado warning in the DC area. So these kind of do have a history of some tornadic activity. Excuse me, I've had this summer cold for like 3 weeks now, and every now and then I just have to cough a lung up, so I apologize in advance. So the flash flood warnings are lighting up here. So Southern Lancaster County, they got the storms first till 9:15, and then we've got them in Chester County, Delaware County, Newcastle County until 11:15. And so please be careful. Do not drive through any flooded roads. You know the drill. And actually, if you, excuse me again, if you live in an area near a waterway that tends to flood, like a smaller creek or stream, please stay weather aware and maybe leave your phone on tonight so you can get any kind of warnings. I know we're all ultra kind of sensitive after what happened in Texas, and obviously we wouldn't get anything of that magnitude, but I think it is a reminder of all of us, for all of us, that at night when you typically want everything really quiet, you do want to wait to get the warnings. So here we go. So you can see right now the cluster of thunderstorms that's really most intense is out of Chester County, Newcastle County, Delaware County. Lots of lightning strikes with that. Moving into Philadelphia right now, dark and stormy. We've got some rain breaking out. This little cell, let me put it in motion so we can see. Oh, I got rid of that. Let me get rid of that track. Hold on a second. Oh, it's not despairing. There we go. So put this into motion and you can see it's all kind of riding up to the north and the east. It's the strongest parts of these storms along I-95, and that we got this little renegade cell that we're watching, and that's what prompted that severe thunderstorm warning for South Jersey. So I want to go ahead and show relative velocity. So this is a tool if you've watched us with our tornado warnings, and apology in advance if I have to break into like Wheel of Fortune or something. I know people don't like to miss their shows. Jeopardy is like, oh, but you know what? If the possible tornado is heading towards your neighborhood, you're not really going to want to care about Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune. You're going to want to know where it is. So I am watching this. So this is again, outside of our viewing area, but this is why they have that tornado possible tag, because we do see the relative velocity moving into eastern shore of Maryland, where you get that pretty strong gate-to-gate shear. It's pretty close. We've got a little gray in between, so it looks like it's more of a broad rotation, but it looks like something's trying to spin up. So that's why they have that tornado possible tag. And you know what I've said many times in the year, if we do have a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, I would treat it as a tornado warning, just to be on the safe side. So the rainfall rates are really, really impressive. So we're looking at, look at that, more than 2 inches per hour. So the atmosphere is really primed that this can pull a lot of rain out of the skies. Hopefully, yeah, we don't want tornado warnings either. They're not really fun for us, but we have seen a history of some tornadic activity. So right now, the severe thunderstorm warnings, we still have that one from 8:15 for parts of Newcastle County, southeastern Chester, southwestern Delaware counties. Cloud thunder here in Winslow Township. Yeah, you're going to hear a lot of the thunder out there. A reminder, if you can hear the thunder, get indoors, because lightning can strike like 10 miles away from the storm. That saying out of the blue comes from the fact that you can get a lightning bolt when the skies are blue, because it can be well ahead of the storm. So there's that severe thunderstorm warning right now until 8:15. We've got that other one, southern New Jersey, and this is until 8 o'clock. And then we've got that one more just outside our viewing area, but if you're in Kent County or Newcastle County, stay weather aware, because this cell is heading your way. And I was looking at the stats for Middletown, Delaware. Middletown, Delaware is kind of like a tornado magnet. So they had a tornado in EF1 2 years ago, and then back in 2020, Middletown, Delaware had the record-breaking tornado. It was an EF1, which is not record-breaking, but it was on the ground for like 29 miles. So I don't know what it is about Middletown, the topography or something, that it tends to attract tornadoes. So Springfield, Delco, bad. Yeah, lots of, I'll get to the reflectivity again and show everybody what's going on. All right, let's show you the radar, and then... Hi, Bruce. Hope you're doing well. So right now, the strongest storms for our area, is it going to be bad for Trenton? It's heading your way. Right now, Trenton, it's like, I'm thinking you're getting some debris clouds, but the rain isn't here yet. Right now, Delco looks like it's getting the best, or I shouldn't say the best, the most thunder and lightning. This view, we've had 89 lightning strikes in the past 15 minutes. So these storms have been prolific lightning makers, a lot of energy in them. So that extends through Chester County, Newcastle County. So this is kind of taking a ride along I-95. So it will be heading towards parts of Montgomery County, Bucks County, Mercer County. And then you get this little cell that's developed over parts of Cumberland, Salem, Gloucester County. The nice thing about this one's petering out. See all the lightning strikes we had in the beginning, and then we have some interesting music here in the studio. And now we're losing lightning strikes, so that's good. So sometimes when you get the storms, they can kind of rain themselves out. They're only moving at about 20 miles an hour, so they're not moving that quickly. And you get evaporative cooling; it cools off the atmosphere, and then it can kind of stabilize the atmosphere, and that's when it falls apart. Okay, we have a new flash flood warning right now too. All right, I do want to show this. This is again out of our viewing area, but heading into eastern shore of Maryland. It's passed through Annapolis. It's heading towards Chestertown. So this will be, if this holds together, I think Kent County, parts of Newcastle County, probably some wind damage, because they're starting to congeal into a line, and we're starting to see that bowing. So when you get that bow echo, it's an indication of rushing winds behind that. So, yeah, well, thank you. I'd rather be safe than watching Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune, too. Oh, here we go. I hear the thunder. So, all right, let's update the flash flood warnings. So I think the flash flood warnings are going to, oh man, my power's out again at home. Second night in a row. Flash flood warnings. So you can see just all along that line. And I think these are going to be pushing through. So this extends through Philadelphia, extends through parts of lower Montgomery County, and this will probably be extending through lower Bucks County into Mercer County. Part of Philadelphia, we have all that asphalt. I mean, there's not a lot of places for the water to run off. And elsewhere, the ground is just saturated. So, and also what makes our area right now more susceptible to some power outages, like at my house right now, is the fact that the ground is so saturated, so the roots are having a tough time holding. So even if you get some winds that are below severe criteria, it can bring down some trees and some power lines. So we have one batch moving through Delaware County, moving into Philadelphia right now. Then we have another batch that's moving out of the eastern shore of Maryland. That will be skirting through Kent County, Newcastle County, if it holds together, heading into South Jersey. We've got the flash flood. Actually, I should show this to you. We've got the flash flood watch, or the flood watch, in effect until 2 o'clock in the morning. So it does look like the storms probably move offshore by about like 1 o'clock. But again, excuse me for my throat. But then you get the residual flooding. So even when it's not raining, you get the runoff. So that causes the flooding. We've got the severe thunderstorm watch until midnight. And yes, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Hold on a second. Let me just find my warnings. Here we go. West Central Atlantic, Northeastern Cumberland, East Central Salem. Oh, no, that one's been canceled. Well, that's good. I was thinking that looked like it was petering out. So we've got 1 till 8:15 right now. Parts of Chester County, Newcastle County, Delaware County. We've got this one outside our viewing area with a tornado possible tag. And so we're going to have to watch these. All the storms are kind of rolling out of Virginia and Maryland and the D.C. area. So that's what we're watching for tonight. So there's a lot of activity down to the south. Okay, so once we get past tonight, I think tomorrow afternoon, we could have a few showers in the morning. Tomorrow afternoon looks like right now the focus will be east of Philadelphia. Probably the shore. I'm sorry, everyone down the shore. And then heading into the weekend, the thunderstorm risk really drops. So that's good. So we could get kind of more garden variety afternoon showers and thunderstorms as we head through the weekend. So there is a little light at the end of the tunnel. Next Monday now is looking stormy, but then after that humidity drops, but it's probably going to be hot. So I know it feels like we live in Florida lately. We get the buildup of the heat and humidity, and then we get the storms. What will happen as we head into the weekend and over the weekend? The Bermuda high that is creating the hot, humid conditions, created heat wave number 3. We've had 4 days of it now. Will start to break down. And that means this front that's getting hung up will finally start to move out. When we have a high pressure heat pump, Bermuda high, it creates kind of an atmospheric traffic jam. So then you get a front like last night's front that blows through. It can't quite move out of the area. It stalls. And then when you get a system like that up front, it creates kind of a train track for waves of low pressure. So that's what we're dealing with right now. And we will still have some like upper level disturbances over the weekend. So that's why we are allowing for some isolated thunderstorms over the weekend, but it's not going to be like every night, like, oh my gosh, we're all getting storms and we have all these tornado warnings and flash flood warnings and stuff like that. It's not going to be that bad. So I do think we kind of start to change our weather pattern over the weekend, and definitely once we get past Monday of next week. So flash flood warning, Honeybrook, Chester County. We've got them all over the place. So right now, speaking of Chester County, there is flooding on Summit Avenue at the bottom of the hill. The bottom of the hill is underwater. So in West Grove, Chester County, stay away from Summit Avenue. a lot of low-lying areas, we're going to see some flooding. And again, if you live in an area near a creek or a stream that's prone to flooding, definitely do want to stay weather aware. So what I'm doing, I'll actually give you guys a little sneak behind the scenes here. So first of all, I have a mirror right now. It's not really for applying makeup, to make sure that I don't get my salad in my teeth. So these are the iPads that Adam and I will be holding up there. And we're not like Snapchatting or TikToking. It's a Slack, it's a weather Slack channel from the National Weather Service. So we can get all of their warnings. We can ask them questions. We can get the storm reports. And then there are my high heel shoes. I'll put on if I go on. There are my flip flops. There's my honey roast salad, which are freaking amazing. And nobody's here in the weather center right now because they're back in the weather office. And here's the studio. And this is why I don't have to wear green, because we have a video wall here. And we also have, ooh, look at that dark and stormy Sky 6. So we have this pixel that we can put different rainfall estimates. We can put different sources in here, which I kind of like. And yeah, it's kind of a good looking Sky 6. And then we can get rid of it. Oh, there we go, there's Storm Tracker. And then this is the green screen that I never use. The only time I use that is after I hurt my ankle water skiing. And I couldn't wear high heels for a week. And so I would go in the green screen so I could hide my feet. So I'm so happy I don't have to use the green screen, because I like wearing green. So anyhow, that is the latest. Eric, I am staying cool here in the studio. I was pretty hot and sticky at the zoo. Very humid today, 91 degrees, the high today. And also I was eating all that watermelon. It was all juicy, so I had all the watermelon juice all over me. So we are here manning the radar. If we have to cut in for, I'm not trying to be rude. I just want to keep checking and see if there are any updates. Hopefully we don't have to cut in for any tornado warnings, but Adam and I and Paul were here just in case. Flash flooding, please take it seriously. If you have flash flood warning in your area, best thing to do is to stay off the roads if you can. But again, if you're in a low-lying area, also make sure you are aware of the water levels outside your house. And make sure you have a way to get any kind of alerts, even at night. So I wouldn't put your phone, I wouldn't turn it off. Lower Bucks County is about to get slammed. Absolutely. That's at Cell. That's working out of Philadelphia right now. Kind of taking a ride along I-95. So I hope you guys watch the news tonight. I will be on Action News at 11 o'clock. And hopefully the storms don't hit your neighborhood as hard as mine. And I hope you have power. All right, take care.
Match Game premieres July.
All right, we have an accurate alert, our first tornado warning of a night. We do have a tornado warning right now in southwestern Newcastle County in Delaware, and this is until 9:15. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Delaney Corner, 10 miles south of Middletown. It's moving northeast at 20 miles an hour. So if you live in this area, you do want to seek shelter immediately. Paul, why don't we zoom in a little bit closer on the polygon so we can see some of the communities also in this area. We've got Middletown, just south of Middletown. We've got Delaney Corner, we have Townsend, Delaware, and Massey. So south of Middletown right now. Remember, Middletown did have a tornado, what was it, 2 years ago, and another one 5 years ago. So it looks like it's crossing Route 15, heading towards Route 1, and this is a cell that was producing some tornadic activity that originally near the D.C. area, then moving through the eastern shore of Maryland. So Harvey Stroud Road, Van Dyke, Green Spring Road, near Forest, near Townsend, Delaware, Gears Corner Road, all of these communities. If you live here, you do want to seek shelter immediately. Get into your basement. If you don't have a basement, just get in the lowest level of your home. If you have an interior closet or a bathroom, that's a good idea. So the number of lightning strikes over the past 15 minutes, we've had about 3. And zooming in, it does look like we are seeing some of the notching, some of the hook echoes. That with the reflectivity often shows that there is some rotation. So it looks like this is right between Maryland 330 and Route 15, just north of Twin Eagles Farm, just south of Van Dyke. just south of Townsend, Delaware. And again, this is moving to the northeast at about 20 miles per hour. So please take shelter immediately. This looks like it's a pretty significant sign of possible rotation. Why don't we go ahead? Can we use a tracking to show the communities that are impacted possibly by this possible tornado? Again, it's radar indicated. So we've got Dexter Corners, Green Spring, Walker, Chambersville, I can't even pronounce that, and Woodland Beach in the path of this possible tornado. When we see that hooking, that's an indication that the winds are kind of wrapping around the center of the storm. You get the rotation higher in the atmosphere, creates a funnel cloud. If it touches down, the tornado could cause some pretty significant damage. And this is the relative velocity. This is a tool that you notice we use a lot here at Action News that shows the wind direction. So the green, the wind that's heading towards the radar site, the red heading away, and there is some pretty significant what's called gate-to-gate shear here. When we have the bright green, we have the bright red right next to each other. That is a couplet that shows there's rotation in the atmosphere, and that's a pretty significant sign that there could in fact be a tornado right now just east of Massey, just south of Middletown, moving to the northeast again at 20 miles per hour. So not only are we seeing the potential for wind damage, we've been getting a lot of flash flooding. Your phones may have been going off. We have flash flood warnings in effect because these storms are unleashing a lot of rain in a short period of time. Adam, you can step in here whenever.
No, it's all good. Yeah.
Adam's here waiting in the wings. You can step in whenever you want because the flash flood warnings, considerable threat. I was talking to you how I was watching my daughter trying to drive on Creek Road.
Delaware.
In Newark, Delaware, and I called her and I said turn around. So if you are in this area, you should not be on the roads right now because we are seeing a lot of roads underwater. I know Wilmington has been reporting some water rescues, some people stranded. So this is a pretty significant situation we have going on right now.
And the National Weather Service has tagged it as a considerable threat with respect to the flash flooding. And they don't use that lightly. They don't use that often, and that's why you got everyone's phones because the emergency alert almost came off. And we've seen in southern Delaware County 3 to 4 inches of rainfall. I know parts of 202 in Delaware County is underwater. You know, that's one of the tags that the Weather Service has put out there. Also, buildings and street flooding in Wilmington where people are stranded. That was put out there as well.
I'm watching water rescues going on in Glen Mills right now, Delaware County.
Also, road flooding with cars stranded at Ring Road and Baltimore Pike and Chadds Ford, Delaware County. So really, this is the area along Route 1 into Delaware County and southern parts of Chester County, Newcastle County, even Philadelphia County, the lower part of it in Chester. I know there's a huge game right now at the Union. A lot of folks are waiting for that cup game to begin. It's a massive game, and they said they got to wait at least 10 minutes from the last lightning bolt or sound of thunder that they could start that game. And I said it's going to be a long time before they start that game. So we have a lot of folks there in Chester awaiting a very big game tonight as well.
And a big problem is the fact that, as we all know, we've had a very stormy period where we get the buildup of heat and humidity, we get the storms, so the ground is saturated, and that means that it can't really absorb a lot of more precipitation, and that causes the flooding. And also with the ground saturated and with the potential for winds, trees and power lines down. I know back at my house, we don't have power again tonight. So because there are a lot of the roots really can't hold.
Right. The ground is super soaked at this point. So a lot of that water is running off onto the roads and the streams. We continue with this tornado warning until 15 past the hour at 9 o'clock here. And it's working its way, it looked like right between Townsend and Dexter's Corners across Route 15 just to the west of Forest there. It's moving to the northeast at 20 miles an hour, so it's not moving quickly. So if you are in areas north and east in the northern part of this, you have plenty of time. You should be in your basement at this point when you've been on now for 8 or so minutes. So we should be in our safe spot, lowest level of the home, interior room, away from the windows. If you're in a high-rise or an apartment complex, get to the lowest level, or an interior stairwell that is blocked from any sort of windows. That is the best place to be. And I know a lot of folks probably have their kids in bed at this hour and have to yank them in and bring them downstairs, and it's okay.
Yeah.
They're going to be okay. Get
Wake
them
them up.
downstairs. Yes.
Tell
wake them
them
up.
it's a sleepover, that
There
you're
you
going
go.
to
I
have a
like
party
that.
in the basement.
I like that. So Paul, why don't we look at the reflectivity once again, the velocity, the relative velocity, and see if we still have that hook.
The soccer game has been postponed.
The soccer game's postponed.
It's scheduled August 13th.
Oh.
Not till August 13th. Thank you,
There you
Chico.
go.
He is one of our floor directors.
He's a big soccer
He's
fan,
a big soccer
so.
fan, so good to know that that has been canceled.
All right.
Doesn't look as impressive with that gate-to-gate shear that you just showed a short time ago here. It's a little more broad in nature, but still a very strong gust of wind as that green is moving away from the radar.
So you can see as we put it into motion, when the first few frames, we've got the green and the red right next to each other. Again, that's gate-to-gate shear, and that's when the National Weather Service issued the tornado warning. Since we put it into motion, we're not seeing that tight couplet anymore, but we are seeing a lot of the green, the rushing winds. So we always say on the air that whether it's a tornado or straight line winds, it really doesn't matter to your home if the tree falls on it. And here, the type of tornadoes we get, if in fact we have more of a straight line wind problem right now, it can cause just as much damage as a tornado. So and a lot of times when we do get these kind of winds, even if it's not a tornado warning, consider it is.
Yes.
Get into your basement. You want to get away from the outdoors, get away from the windows, get away from any falling debris or any trees. So this is a pretty significant squall line right now. Crossing Route 13, looks like that notching right now is north and west of Smyrna right now, moving northeast about 20 miles an hour. It's not moving all that quickly, so this is why we're also going to be seeing a lot of flash flooding here. Chambersville. I can't pronounce that. You can try.
Deeknayville, maybe?
That's
Never heard
good enough.
of it.
Collins Beach, all in the path of the storm. So it looks right now like the center of circulation is south of Middletown. Middletown is just north of the warning right now, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Townsend, Delaware, Forest, crossing Route 13, Walker.
Yeah, if anything, would
like
probably be where you again get that notching, where you don't have as much heavy rain embedded into that particular.
Canceled.
But that would be it's canceled.
It just can't. Wait, no, sorry.
No.
It's canceled for Kent County, Maryland. It's still in effect right now for southwestern Newcastle County. Let me double check here.
Okay, so yes, it's in effect till 9:50 northwestern Newcastle County. It is moving northeast now at 35 miles an hour. A little bit faster near Delaney Corner.
Yeah, it looks like the center of circulation, the severe thunderstorm capable of producing the tornado near Delaney Corner, 7 miles south of Middletown, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour.
It'd be right there.
Right there, and that you can see a bit of that notching.
Right along Route 15.
A bit of that hook echo. Route 15 looking like it's heading towards Route 13.
Route 1.
Just to the north of Walker, heading towards Route 9. Collins Beach in the path of that storm.
Tent as well. So again, a very populated road, Route 1, Route 13 there. I mean, thankfully at this time of night, it's probably less cars on the road, and especially how much rain we have seen. But nonetheless, you still have a lot of folks who live in this area. So here's some roads: Blackbird Landing Road, Walker School Road, Massey's Church Road, Smyrna Landing Road. If you know anyone in this area, it never hurts to give them a call and give them a heads up in case that they don't know they're under a tornado warning, as this is heading to the northeast at 35 miles an hour.
And this is also a good reminder that you should always have some way to get some kind of warning on your phone. We have the 6ABC app. There are a lot of other apps out there. And tonight when you go to bed, it looks like the flooding likely will continue into the night. So even though you may want to turn your phone off, I would leave it on so you can get a warning. If you got that flash flood warning, it's very loud. It'll wake you up from a deep sleep. Tornado warning is in effect until 9:15. So again, just south of Middletown, looks like Townsend, Forest, near Dexter Corners in the path of this possible tornado, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, crossing Route 13, Route 1. Walker, you're in the polygon. Looks like the center of circulation could be a little bit farther to the north, but tornadoes don't always follow the same path. So first it was going to the northeast at 20 miles an hour. It's picked up its forward momentum to 35 miles per hour, but tornadoes are often known to shift, to move in a different direction. So that's why you get almost that cone of uncertainty where the polygon kind of flares out.
Yeah, so again, this is about 7 to 8 miles southeast of Middletown, Delaware, and it's not moving towards Middletown. It's moving again in that direction to the northeast. And here's the Delaware Bay meeting the Delaware River, and then that would push into parts of Salem County if it was to hold together. But at this point, we're still seeing a bit of that notching in the radar reflectivity there where you'd have that void.
So it looks very close to Tent looks very close to Collins Beach, maybe just to the north, the center of circulation. Middletown, Delaware, even though you are not in the path of the tornado, you are getting some very heavy rain, strong winds, a lot of thunder and lightning right now. So this is definitely a pretty intense
And those rainfall rates, that's going to be at least 2.5 inches per hour, up to 2 inches in the northern part of New Castle County. And with respect to the precipitation rates, also for people who are watching in Delaware County, northern New Castle County, Philadelphia County, lower Chester County, there's a considerable flood threat that is happening right now that we're seeing area-wide flooding, and we just got a new update here with a couple more flash flood emergency responses with roads flooding at West 2nd Street and Central Avenue, where a vehicle is stranded in Chester, Delaware County. A lot of people in Chester trying to head away from that game that's been canceled. So we have this mass amount of people that filling up a stadium that's out on the roadways right now. And also Lansdowne, Delaware County, road flooding at Union Ave and Bartram Ave. Vehicles stranded there as well.
So it's really best if you can stay off the roads when we get this type of flooding. If you know anyone who maybe is heading out, trying to drive home, give them a call and say maybe wait it out for a while. Like stay put. Stay off the roads, because not only we're looking at flooding with the potential for cars getting stranded, we're also looking at the possibility of some trees and power lines coming down. Right now, flash flooding, 16 reports, flood 2 reports. So flooding is the main concern. But again, we still have that tornado warning for New Castle County as well. You know, and it's unfortunate, but we've seen the images out of New Mexico. We've seen the images out of Texas of how fast water can rise. It does not take very long for water to take over a roadway, take over your home, your backyard. And we're getting some updates here. It's over 3 inches of rain in many locations, northern New Castle County. This is southern Chester County along Route 1, and then also heading into Delaware County. And we're looking at this in a span of about an hour? Hour to 2 hours at most. And the fact that we had all that rain last night, so the ground just can't absorb all that rain. So that's why we're seeing the runoff, that's why we're seeing the roads flooded, and that's why we're getting a lot of reports right now of vehicles stranded. You do not want to try to drive through flooded roads. And the problem too at night is a lot of times you can't really see it. We've got a Sky 6.
Mobile 6. We have Mobile 6, which I know we were chatting with the photog who is driving Mobile 6, who's going down 95. I believe he's still on 95. Just let me know. But they was heading south towards 95. You can see the lightning flashes above as well. 95 right now, as you can see, at least it is passable in this particular location, but heading towards the area where we've seen a considerable amount of flooding out there. So the Action News crews are heading in that direction to see what we can find and just to make sure that these communities are safe, that they are okay, and we'll be getting an update at 10 and 11 o'clock tonight. And topography plays a big role in the flooding. A lot of times if you're driving on a low-lying area, you're driving down a hill, or if you're driving on any road that has creek or river in its name, get off and get to a safe place, because those areas are likely flooding. So we've had, 64 lightning strikes over the past 15 minutes. In this vantage point, and the good things showing here, look to the west how we're losing those bright colors, which is a good sign that at least the rain falling from the sky is diminishing to the west. But flooding still rises even after the rain stops falling. And we are also getting a little bit of a training effect, right along I-95, where we're seeing the storms are kind of going over the same area. So that's adding to the potential for flooding. It looks like at least the number of lightning strikes starting to diminish. So maybe the atmosphere is cooling off a bit. And let's head back down to that tornado warning. So yes, we have that ongoing considerable flooding right now in the heart of the I-95 corridor, southern Chester, Delaware, Newcastle County, into southern parts of Philadelphia County. But we still have this tornado warning for another 11 minutes if they do hold this here for parts of Newcastle County, as this particular dangerous storm just got the Franklin Creek went rapidly into flood stage in Summerdale in Philadelphia County. So we just got that update. The Frankford Creek. So if you live near the Frankford Creek, it's rapidly rising into flood stage at this present time.
And again, tonight, if you live near a waterway, please make sure you have a way to get your warning, that it'll wake you up if the flood waters are rising rapidly, if you have to move to higher ground. Looking at the reflectivity, looks like it's not as strong a signature right now. Looks like it's past Dexter Corners, though, where we've seen the center of circulation with that thunderstorm possible of producing a tornado. So Tent, Chambersville, I still can't pronounce that, Collins Beach, and Pine Island, all in the path. Now, Pine Island, that is past 9:15 when we have the tornado warning that is set to expire, but we'll have to see if it is expanded. A lot of times when we get a storm that goes over the Delaware water, any kind of waterway, it cools off the atmosphere a lot and it has trouble maintaining its strength. So hopefully that's the case.
And I like the look of this signature with respect to the gate-to-gate shear. I don't want to say it looks great because this is still a very strong rush of wind, but with respect to spinning in the atmosphere, I like that we don't see that notching happening right now on the relative velocity, which, if you don't know what relative velocity is, a lot of people don't, but basically you're looking at the interior structure wind of the storm only. You're taking kind of the momentum of the storm out of it. You're taking a look at what the wind structure is in the storm to see how it's manipulating in the atmosphere.
And so when we see the green and the red together, it shows they're spinning in the atmosphere. When we see more of just that green, looks like it's more kind of evolving to a straight lined wind damage possibility, not seeing as much rotation. So hopefully that's a sign that any rotation has kind of lifted up and dissipated. But right now we're still under the tornado warning.
And remind me, John Paul today, was it Euclid Township that he was in with all that tree? Was it Euclid?
I was at the zoo.
You were at the zoo. Paul,
know.
was it Euclid Township? Yeah, Euclid Township. He was there, and you could see basically midway up all these trees, they were snapped at the top and laying all down. And they did I mean, it literally looked like a giant just put their foot down and just crushed
like a microburst?
Yes, like a microburst. So when you were talking about how you take these, seriously, whether you see, spinning or not, straight line winds can be just as damaging, just as destructive as a tornado. So you want to take both of them very seriously, whether it's a tornado warning or it could be a microburst of straight line winds.
And we do have an update right now. The tornado warning remains in effect until 9:15. So for about the next 9 minutes now. At 9:05, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Green Spring, near Middletown, moving northeast at 20 miles per hour.
Okay. So they're continuing, like last night when we were on, you and I, a lot of times they would tag it saying it's set to expire. They're going to let it expire, but they're not wording it that way here.
They're saying it remains in effect.
It remains in effect, which is different wording than it's going to expire. So it's something they're probably still watching, whether or not what happens after that 9:15 minute, so to speak. All right, here's another update on flash flooding in Hockessin, Newcastle, Delaware. The Hockessin Park is underwater from Mill Creek, as shown in video and pictures sent into the National Weather Service. So if you live near Hockessin Park in Hockessin, Delaware, from Mill Creek, it is underwater at this hour.
Okay, now we're slicing into the cell, and you can see the heights are at about 30,000 feet. So that's an indication that we do have a lot of lift in the atmosphere. There's a lot of energy to the storms. Probably not a lot of hail. I don't know if it's quite that high. I wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't think, just given you would see, brighter, much brighter colors in that core. Yesterday, they were up to 40,000 feet with some of those storms. But this is where commercial airliners fly. So if you're flying on vacation, think about that. The tops of the storms are that high up in the atmosphere, which is pretty impressive as well.
So right now we still have that tornado warning in effect until 9:15 for southwestern Newcastle County. We also have a widespread flood threat that continues across kind of the core of our viewing area. So that tornado warning right now, so you notice it's kind of evolved. So crossing Route 71, crossing Route 113. So it's from Walker through Townsend, just south of Middletown. Again, that severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Green Spring. So from Massey's Church Road, Blackbird Landing Road, Caldwell Corner Road, Dexter Corner Road. If you live in this area, Walker is also in this. You do want to seek shelter immediately. Get into your basement. If you don't have a basement, get into the lowest level of your building, an interior room, a closet, a bathroom, away from windows, as many layers between you and the outdoors as possible. If you know anybody who lives in this area, perhaps who doesn't watch Channel 6, maybe give them a call, give them a heads up. They need to seek shelter right away, because this is a possibility that we could be looking at flying debris. We could be looking to damage to roofs, to windows. Looks like it continues
Just
to move to the northeast pretty quickly.
Yeah,
What is the speed right now?
speed?
No, actually, it's slowed down
Did it
now.
slow
Now
down?
it's back down to 20 miles an hour. It started at 20. It ramped up to 35 miles an hour. Now it's slowed back to 20 miles an hour. The East Branch of the White Clay Creek has now overflowed its banks. On Chester Elliott Road,
And that's in
portions are
Avondale.
completely covered. Avondale, Chester County, Pennsylvania. So we were getting so many reports of roads just underwater right now.
And a lot of those waterways, like you said, I mean, they come up fast, but they're going to continue to rise even after this, you know, pushes away overnight. So it's going to be a long night for those folks who live in low-lying areas and along these waterways, in addition to the severe storms that are coming in right now.
So we just got an update that they are going to let the
They
tornado
are.
warning expire at 9:15. So that's an indication that it looks like the tornado threat is diminishing. Otherwise, they wouldn't be saying that. They'd say they're expanding it. So they are going to let this expire at 9:15, in 5 minutes.
Yep.
We still have that flash flood warning, though, and this continues past midnight. And again, like Adam mentioned, the threat tag considerable, which we don't see very often, right through the heart of our viewing area, right along I-95, Newcastle County, Philadelphia County, Delaware County, Chester County, parts of Mercer County, parts of Burlington County, Camden, Gloucester, Salem. So all along I-95, where we've been seeing the training of storms, this is where we have the flash flooding. It's happening right now. Please do not go driving. If you know anyone driving, call them up, say pull over, get inside a sturdy building, because we're getting a lot of reports of roads underwater, of water rescues, of cars being inundated by water. And the fact that it's happening at night, it's really hard to tell just how deep that water is.
It is so true. And Paul, why don't we not only show how much rain has fallen today, if you have the availability of showing the last 48 hours combined with yesterday. This is the problem. The ground was super saturated from the storms yesterday, so the groundwater has yet to completely, you know, either soak further down into the ground surface or also be evaporated by the atmosphere itself. So these are the rainfall estimates. This includes yesterday, correct?
48 hours.
All right, so
48
48 hours. So you can see this area over the last 48 hours, right along Route 1. We're talking 5 inches of rain,
It's crazy.
5.5 inches of rain, 5 inches of rain. So again, it's very consistent along these major, not only thoroughfares of Route 1, 95, 202, but also these are very populated areas where a lot of folks live. So the ground is, again, beyond saturated at this point. So anything that falls from here on out this evening, or if something pops tomorrow, you're going to get renewed flood threats very easily, unfortunately.
And even though Wilmington, Philadelphia aren't really in the hot spots, considering the fact that we just have so much asphalt as well.
True.
So it's hard for, asphalt can't absorb any rain. So that's why we're seeing a lot of the flash flooding in some of the urban areas as well.
Yeah, so again, the flooding threat for many of you out there is considerable this hour, and thankfully we're seeing that tornado warning storm weakening as it's heading to the north and east, and within the next 2 minutes we can say that it has officially been canceled from the National Weather Service, but the flood threat is going to continue well past that midnight hour, unfortunately.
So I think we can probably go back to regular programming right now. We are here. Here we go. Well, Sussex County, Delaware, which is out of our viewing area right now.
They have a tornado
Does have a tornado warning until 9:45.
So if you have folks, why don't we just, you know, well, we have 30 seconds.
show them.
Here's the storm further down in Sussex County. If you do have friends, family,
Near Georgetown.
there you go, right down there.
Yeah.
Or you have folks who are friends or folks who are at the Delaware beaches this week on vacation. Give them a call, give them a heads up that there is a tornado warned storm there.
You can see the Hook Echo right there.
Yep.
So again, that is south of our viewing area, but if you notice the way it's
going
moving,
right towards Lewis.
It's moving, yeah, it's moving northeast, it's moving towards Lewis. If it stays together, crossing the Delaware Bay. It would be moving towards Cape May County. So it's going to be a very stormy night. We've got the flash flooding, and the flash flood warnings remain in effect until after midnight tonight. So please be careful. The tornado warning for Newcastle County is going to be expiring within the next, how many
45
seconds now? 45 seconds. So we're going to be counting it down. The reason why we break into programming and we stay on these tornado warnings is we want to give people a heads up. I know if we're breaking into your favorite programming, again, we apologize, but our #1 job is to keep our viewers safe. So that's why we break into programming during tornado warnings, and we stay on the tornado warning until the threat is over, because you can always watch the program another time.
It's on demand everywhere
Exactly.
now. You just find it on demand, and it's going to be there at some point, anywhere, at any time. Also, please join us on Action News at 10 on PHL 17, and then Cecily will be along at 11 o'clock on Action News as well.
All right, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe, my friends, and we now return you to your regularly, can't say that word, scheduled programming.
Action News, Philadelphia's leading news program, with Deuces Rogers, meteorologist Cecily Tynan, and Rick Williams.
Wednesday night, and we're beginning with a tornado warning in Atlantic County, Cecily?
Yes, we do have a tornado warning just issued from the National Weather Service, Atlantic County and parts of South Central Ocean County. So this extends from Brigantine through many shore towns, Atlantic City, Beach Haven, Mystic Island, until 11:30. So we have a cell that's been pushing to the Jersey Shore, creating abundant lightning, heavy downpours. And if you live in these areas, I'd say get in your basement, but most shore houses don't have basements, so just get on the lowest level of your home. Get in an interior room, a bathroom or a closet, as many layers between you and the outdoors as possible. This particular cell, I mean, it's just been hammering the Jersey Shore, Atlantic City. We've been watching some of our live Sky 6s showing that they've been getting torrential rain, and there's an indication that there is some rotation. So this is radar indicated. We're not looking at the potential for anyone seeing a funnel cloud. It would be rain wrapped anyhow, but a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Brigantine, near Atlantic City, and it is booking. It is moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So if this stays together, it's going to be kind of raking through all the beach towns, Beach Haven, Spray Beach, Eagleswood, all in the path of this potential tornado. Again, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. And it looks like, if we look at the relative velocity, I'm not seeing a lot of the gate to gate shear. Maybe as it just rolled through, maybe we can stop it there near Atlantic City, Paul, because when we see the green, it's the winds heading towards the radar site. When we see the red, it's away. And so this is probably what the National Weather Service has kind of nailed down at 10:53, just a few minutes ago, that it looks like there is some rotation in the atmosphere near Atlantic City. It looks like it may have touched down and spun back up, but a lot of times with tornadoes in our area, they can hit, they can move back up, and they can hit again. So that's why they have issued that tornado warning until 11:30. Moving through Atlantic City again, moving right up through the Jersey Shore, and it's moving very quickly northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So that means that there's also forward motion. So when you get the straight line winds, it can kind of be enhanced by the forward motion of the storm. So we are live right now, Sky 6, taking a look at Atlantic City, where people are running for cover because the rain is coming down in very heavy downpours, about 2 inches per hour. We're also looking at the potential for straight line winds, and we've been watching the Sky 6 every now and then. There we go. We've got a lightning strike. So this particular cell, that's kind of the leading edge of the heavy rain, is just loaded with electricity. So we've been seeing some very vibrant lightning strikes. And this is a reminder, as I watch people running for cover, there is no safe place outdoors during a thunderstorm. When you hear that rumble of thunder, it means the storm is close enough that you could get struck by lightning. So that's why you are encouraged to get indoors immediately when you hear the rumble of thunder. And again, in these areas from Brigantine through Beach Haven, just to the east of Little Egg Harbor, it's south of Surf City. We have that tornado warning until 11:30 for the potential for thunderstorm creating that spin, creating a tornado. So again, if you live in these areas, get in the lowest level of your home, an interior closet, a bathroom. Not a bad idea to get under something because this system does definitely have some juice. This is our second tornado warning of the night. The first one was in Newcastle County, and this is actually kind of the same cell, the leading edge of the heaviest rain moving through. We've had 62 lightning strikes over the past 15 minutes. Looks like the strongest part from Atlantic City now pushing up to the north very quickly. It's now to the north of Route 9. It's east of Garden State Parkway, moving right along the shore points at about 40 miles an hour. So pretty impressive. 200 lightning strikes in this particular view over the past 15 minutes. So it's really loaded with intensity right now. I'm going to bring in my colleague Adam Joseph, who was trying to go home for dinner. Or
and
go
literally
home for
was
bed.
in the dressing room after the 10 o'clock show and got a text from her saying, tornado warning. I'm like, she's joking
come in.
again.
I don't joke about that.
No, but all seriousness here, 253 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes. This is the cell that came across the Delaware Bay. We were watching it prior to the 10 o'clock show when we were on the air with the tornado warning around 9:15 or so.
For Newcastle County.
For Newcastle County. And then this continues to book it along to the north and east at speeds of 40 plus miles an hour. So now what we're going to eye is not only Brigantine, but Long Beach Island, Beach Haven is the lowest part here. And then as you head up to Spray Beach, Brant Beach, Ship Bottom, also Old Barney up at Barnegat Light, this is all moving in that direction. And this is a very popular week because we had the 4th of July last Friday. So some folks went there on the 4th, maybe the 5th, and then extending into this week.
It looks like right now south of Mystic Island is where we're seeing the most enhanced rotation, and when you see that with the relative velocity, you see that red and the green very close to each other, that gate-to-gate shear, that couplet. It's an indication that there is some rotation in the atmosphere, that thunderstorm could in fact be producing a tornado right now. And the image that you're also seeing on the screen is our Sky 6 live in Margate, looking at the fishing pier there. We can see the rain kind of going sideways, a lot of lightning that you're seeing there as well, just showing the whipping winds with that rain. Now the tornado warned storm is well north of Margate, but that is just an indication that a lot of folks are up, their kids are up, their dogs are up down the shore right now watching us. But we want to really eye this particular part of the storm, which is just north and east of Brigantine, moving north and east. So Beach Haven, we're looking at that around 11:14, Haven Beach at 11:18, Brant Beach at 11:21, Ship Bottom 11:23, and then Surf City at 11:26. So as you noted, Cecily, a very good call by saying a lot of these homes, they do not have basements. So the first level of your home, they're probably in homes renting, not familiar with that home. Interior closet, interior hallway, anything away from windows is the best place to be. Yeah, and don't go to the windows to try to get video to send us. We don't need it. You want to put as many layers between you and the outdoors as possible, because what happens with a tornado warning, you get the flying debris, you get the trees, you get pieces of roof, and that can be very dangerous, can go right through your window, it can fall into your house. So you want to get as many layers between you and the outdoors as possible. It used to be, people used to think that you opened your doors or your windows or whatever to relieve pressure. That's not the case. Not the case. That's definitely not the case. The other thing too is when you start to get storms closer towards the water's edge here, you have a lot of back bays, open waterways, you've got land, you've got the open ocean. The wind can do funny business and kind of funnel around, so this is more than likely why we're starting to see a little bit of rotation with these storms. And note also areas that have significant flooding right now with ongoing flood warnings inland from Philadelphia down to Wilmington. The rain is starting to end there, but the waters are continuing to rise, and now we're just watching that nasty storm at the shore heading to Long Beach Island. And this is actually what we were originally going to leave with until we had the tornado warning, the fact that we just have so much flash flooding right now. That flash flood warning continues for the heart of our viewing area till 12:30. That tag is considerable because we have seen a lot of flash flooding across the region. We've had over the past 48 hours in some areas 5 to 6 inches of rain. So it's been one of these forecasts where it's kind of rinse and repeat, where we have the buildup of the heat and humidity, we have the storms, and you can see some areas 5 6 inches of rain near Chester, parts of Chester County, and this is why we've seen just so much flash flooding, and that threat continues. So hopefully everyone is home safe where we're getting the flooding, and hopefully people in Atlantic County right now are also in their safe place.
And notice Chester, the deepest red there. We had a stadium packed with people for the Philadelphia Union game this evening, and that game was canceled. So all those folks having to get in their cars, drive during this kind of weather. So yes, I'm sure many of them are still trying to navigate their way home safely. But as we head to the shore, again, that tornado warning was issued at 10:57, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. Radar indicated, oh, now it's flashing, which means that
I think they're
updating it.
Canceling it for Atlantic County, I think.
Yeah.
And let me see if Southern Ocean County.
Central Southern Ocean County until 11:30. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Tuckerton, or 12 miles northeast of Atlantic City, still moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. Radar indicated in some of those towns we're watching again. Basically all of Long Beach Island is under the gun.
So this is updated the fact that Atlantic County right now, you're still hearing the thunder. You're seeing the lightning, you're getting the heavy downpours, but the threat of the tornado has now expired. That cell has moved out of Atlantic County. Now it's moving through Ocean County. So this is why we have the tornado warning in effect here for all of LBI, from Holgate up through Brant Beach. So again, if you live in this area, hopefully you're in your safe place already. We can see the radar. There is a little bit of notching going on. Maybe we can go to relative velocity after this, because it just looks like a lot of it.
But also,
looks like there could be a little bit of spin there.
Yeah, it's there and there. It's kind of all over. There's another one right off the water there, just to the south and east of Beach Haven as well. And it's pretty broad, but I mean, if it were there, maybe it's over the open waters at that point, but nonetheless, you're going to be in your safe place. And also, if you're in a home that you're renting, find that interior room away from windows, and not maybe on the western part of the home, but maybe on the eastern side of the home, in case there was a tornado coming from the west to the east as well.
Good point.
You know, so this is what we're and nonetheless, if it's a tornado or not, the red here is wind structure inside the storm, straight line winds moving away from the radar. So this is a bright band of red, which is a strong rush of wind. Even if it were not a tornado, you're still getting pretty destructive winds coming in over the bay. There's no friction with water, meaning no trees, no homes to slow the wind down. So the wind is just rushing off of that water. And so we'll likely see some power lines down with this, with the wind damage. We're probably seeing a lot of street flooding as well, because the rain has just been relentless. We've been looking at rainfall rates at about 2 to even 2.5 inches per hour. So, and it's flat there. So, so there's going to be a lot of flooding. So over the past 15 minutes, this view, we've seen 5 lightning strikes. And again, it's really the shore points along Ocean County right now under the tornado warning. The tornado warning for Atlantic County has been canceled because this system is moving so quickly. It's moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So it's booking. So updating the track for the storms: Spray Beach, Haven Beach, Brant Beach, Ship Bottom, Surf City, and Long Beach, all in the path of this possible tornado. Again, radar indicated tornado. Looks like there is some spin in the atmosphere that could be producing a tornado. In addition to that, we're getting all the lightning strikes, we're getting all the flooding, and we're getting potential some wind damage. And the rush of wind. And not only like the tornado warnings we had yesterday and today, the storms are moving 25, 30 miles an hour. When you get to 40 or so miles an hour, you're not only dealing with the wind within the storm, but as the storm is moving, the momentum of the storm actually creates even more wind. So that's what could also bring some of those power outages with the extra wind and rainfall rates. Still 2-3 inches per hour with this. And not only at the shore, Cecily, but this goes all the way into Route 9, the Garden State Parkway, all the way inland. So we're talking about the severity of the storm being more towards the shore, but you're still dealing with a pretty nasty storm as far inland as Little Egg Harbor Township.
And that's what we've seen a lot with storms like this, where the leading edge has the most intensity as far as the lightning and the wind and the potential for any tornadoes. But then once you get beyond that, you still get some pretty heavy rain, and that's producing quite a bit of flooding as well. So right now, the strongest part of this is southern Ocean County moving up, LBI, Atlantic County. You're out of the tornado warning, but you're still getting hit with some really heavy thunder and lightning, some heavy rainfall. Once this leaves our area, we are done with severe weather. We'll just have some residual flooding as we head through the overnight hours.
And even tomorrow, it looks like a lot of clouds tomorrow. Doesn't look like much sunshine. We're not going to hit the 90s. We're not going to destabilize that atmosphere with severe storms, so we're not going to see a third day of this. Yes, there could be some downpours tomorrow, but I think after this moves out, we can safely, most likely, hopefully, won't be dealing with another round of severe weather tomorrow.
Everybody has storm fatigue at this moment.
At this point in time.
I understand we have it as well.
But for those folks, again, at the shore right now, it is just a loud night here, and continue to be in your safe place for Long Beach Island in Ocean County as we continue to see this storm that is just lighting up the sky. It is a constant rumble of thunder that is ongoing with 360 or so lightning strikes in 15 minutes with this storm as it's moving northeast very quickly at 40 miles an hour.
This particular cell has really picked up momentum. I mean, when we were tracking it through Newcastle County, I think it was 20, maybe
25,
30 miles per hour,
most.
And now it's moving at 40 miles an hour. So it's really getting picked up. It'd be better if it were moving east instead of northeast, because it's really following the shoreline. Live Sky 6.
This is South Carolina Avenue at the Steel Pier here in Atlantic City, looking more northeast.
There we go.
So every now and then you see that bright flash and then it goes dark. It's the camera trying to reset its maybe iris or its white balance there because the lightning is so bright. But yet again, you're dealing with quite a light show out there, and very dangerous to even be near a window or trying to get a view of this. You want to be away from that and be somewhere away from windows, or put yourself into an interior closet or bathroom that doesn't have a window as well.
Unfortunately, I think lately we've had a lot of practice with this. I mean, when I got here almost 30 years ago, we didn't have a lot of tornado warnings. You know, that was something you thought of that we had in Oklahoma, they had in Texas, and now we're getting them
now.
a
It
lot.
seems unfortunate, you know, and with a lot of that has to do with just more moisture, warmer atmosphere. It's holding more water content. We're seeing more flash flooding as well, because the atmosphere is just holding. When you're dealing with more moisture and warmer temperatures, then you can get a lot more lightning being discharged out of storms, because you're not only dealing with water in the clouds, you're dealing with ice in the upper part of the cloud. So it's the different charges that is really kind of intensifying these storms as well.
And we also have better technology to detect it as well.
Yes.
So that's where we got it. When I came here 30 years ago, we didn't have any of this. So
we have our own Lancaster radar too, which a lot of these storms were coming from.
We had magnets back then. So again, the tornado warning continues for the shore points in Ocean County. We've had 131 lightning strikes right now. Beach Haven looks like you've got some really heavy weather rolling through. Lots of thunder and lightning. Probably the center of circulation looks like it's north of Beach Haven right now, heading towards Brant Beach. It's moving very quickly. It's moving at 40 miles per hour. So it looks like we'll probably be getting an update from the National Weather Service
because this is moving so quick, they should be updating this before it would expire at 11:30. Brant Beach 11:23, Ship Bottom 11:26, Surf City at 11:28, and if it was to extend to its expiring time, it would be in North Beach by that point, which would be pretty much out of our viewing area. So we'll continue to stay here, monitor it. Oh, it's continues the tornado.
Here we go. I think we have an update now.
Yeah.
Remains in effect. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Beach Haven, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Take cover now. So we are continuing. This is at 11:16. So this is an update on its possible location. So actually, if we hear the relative velocity right now, so you can see we have a really, really strong radar signature, relative velocity of gate to gate shear. We've got the green, the winds heading towards the radar site, and they're pretty bright. And the brighter the colors, the stronger the winds. And then the red is super bright, and that's heading away. So it does look like now, actually, it's just updated near Haven Beach is where we have the strongest the strongest rotation, probably heading towards Brant Beach right now. So every time we update this, it's moved, and it shows that the movement of the storm moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, and you notice the brighter greens here and the brighter reds. We have the circulation, but there's also a broad circulation at this part of the storm as well. So there may be little eddies all along this line that the radar is trying to track. And again, this is what you call a couplet. It's basically, you know, the two different wind directions right next to one another. And if you had really, really bright green, really, really bright red, that's when you have a very strong couplet. It is a decent couplet, but a little bit broader here along Beach Haven, but also there's another one there towards Brant Beach as well.
Because like you were mentioning, because the thing about the veering winds is that if the winds are over land, they're going at a certain speed. When they get over the water, the speed changes.
Yeah.
And when you get the change in speed, you get a change in wind direction, it can create that kind of spin. So Haven Beach, Brighton Beach, Brant Beach, and Ship Bottom all in the path of this possible tornado. Again, radar indicated severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Second tornado warning we've had of the evening. We've also had numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, and we've had a lot of flood warnings that remain in effect as we head through the overnight hours, actually.
Yeah, and Paul, if we can go back in time to show where the storm came across, just how fast the storm came across the bay. It was over the bay before the 10 o'clock newscast, and now it's racing its way to the north and east, and it basically passed over all shore communities. There it was down in the south, and then it just continued to blossom and then blew up across the bay, skirting all shore towns right along from not only the beaches down in Lewis, which they actually had a tornado warning down there as well, but now working right up from Cape May, Strathmere, Atlantic City, and now Long Beach Island.
What I think is interesting to watch it too is a lot of times when we see storms progress, they weaken. If you watch this, we're actually getting more lightning strikes now than we were getting about an hour ago. It's picked up forward momentum and it's picked up intensity. So we're up to what it started at 118
back then.
310, and now it's more than 500 from what I've seen. 421, not quite. No, 520. That's what I thought.
So it's continuing to strengthen as it lifts to the north and east. So, you know, you give it another 10 minutes, hopefully the tornado warning is over, and by that time, hopefully the strongest of the cells, Cecily, is off the coast, and northern New Jersey, the New Jersey coastline doesn't have to deal with this particular severe storm as well.
I'm hoping it veers to the east, because a lot of times, you know, with tornadoes, they do change direction, they change speed. And if it veered to the east, it would be a fish storm. We don't have to worry about it anymore. But right now, it's just kind of raking, excuse me, right up the Jersey Shore, right up LBI right now.
And not only are we watching that severe part of the storm and the elements of it, but also, thankfully, the rain is shutting off west of the city of Philadelphia, because we have the Red Clay Creek is out of its bank. Also, there's other creeks in parts of Philadelphia that are out of the bank. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now.
We've got the Christina River
the Christina River. We also have a lot of roadways. If you were watching Action News at 10 on PHL 17, the action cam was live everywhere, Mobile 6, and we actually caught people coming out of their car windows onto the roof of their cars at the time live, so, and other folks that were backing up, moving away from watered roadways. So here you go, some of those storm reports. There was flooding on 95 South at exits 8 and 9. And again, this was earlier, and some of them are still there. Frankfort Creek, as well as Glen Mills, water rescues.
Well, a big problem too is when we do have flooding at night, it's really, really hard to tell just how deep the water is. So that's why we've been looking at water rescues, where people think, oh, it's only looks like it's a foot deep and it's dark, you can't see. So that's why when we do have flood warnings, we really encourage people, first of all, turn around, don't drown. And if you don't have to be driving, you definitely don't want to be driving, because it can be very dangerous at night. Right now, our focus is on that tornado warning in effect for about the next 7 minutes for LBI from Beach Haven to Brant Beach. Radar indicated possible rotation with a cluster of thunderstorms that has been moving very quickly, picking up forward momentum, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. And they are saying it will expire now. Yeah,
so they are going to expire this storm at 11:30. The rotation in the storm, which prompted the warning, has moved offshore. Therefore, the warning will be allowed to expire. However, gusty winds, heavy rain are still possible with this particular thunderstorm.
So I think now that they said they're allowing it to expire, that the rotation has moved offshore. If this is okay, I think that we can probably toss back to Rick to continue our newscast.
I mean, if the
Is that good?
producer
Because-
wants us to stay on, we're more than happy to.
Okay,
but-
well, because the tornado threat is over. We still have a lot of flash flooding. I'll talk more about that if there's time. Back for my weather forecast. Tossing to you, Rick.
All right, thanks to both of you for the extended coverage. It's been a busy day for you guys.
Yeah.
There was another tornado warning in Delaware earlier today,
Yep,
correct?
Newcastle County.
In Newcastle. Okay, we're going to talk about that and take a look at some of the other flooding throughout the region. Let's do that right now. Thank you, Adam and Cecily. This rain came down fast and hard, rising quickly on roads and catching drivers off guard, like here in Lansdowne, Delaware County. This is at Union and Bartram Avenues, where several cars got stuck in high water. The high water also creating problems for folks in Chester. Action News reporter Brianna Smith is live in Ridley Township tonight with a closer look at some of these scary scenes. Brianna.
Yeah, Rick, we're on Industrial Highway near the intersection of Stewart Avenue, and you can see the flashing lights. Police blocked off the street in both directions due to the flooding, but we are seeing the water receding tonight. We've seen a lot of activity with cars driving through. We saw at least 2 vehicles getting stuck. One of them you're taking a look at right now. You can see that driver backing up his car. Eventually, he was able to get out of the middle of the road. The other vehicle that was stuck was also able to drive away tonight. But, Rick, that's not all that we've seen. Over in Wilmington, Delaware, at least 6 drivers on Governor Prince Boulevard were stranded on the flooded road. Look at this driver who actually climbed out of her window to the roof of her car and screamed for help. First responders quickly came to the rescue with a boat to bring those in need to safety. Again, we've seen several cars out on the road tonight, many taking it slow, but unfortunately others getting stuck. And of course, we hope everyone avoids these flooded areas and are able to get home safely. Live in Ridley Township, Brianna Smith, Channel 6 Action News. Rick?
All right, Brianna, thank you for that report. We're going to take a quick break and more news when we come right back. Stay with us.